I would like to welcome all of you to the Disney MGM Studios Backstage Tour. Your tour will begin right here at the Special Effects Water Tank. Water tanks like this one continue to play a major role in the making of action films today. The explosive, out-of-control mayhem that you may have seen in movies like Crimson Tide, The Rock, and Pearl Harbor can be created here using large-scale physical and mechanical special effects. The action is then filmed as a carefully planned sequence of events. Today we are going to be shooting our own action sequence called Harbor Attack, using the same type of special effects that directors like Michael Bay use on their own films. In fact, here's Michael Bay right now to set up the scene for us, so please everybody, take a look at the overhead TV sets.
In this scene, the patrol is on a surveillance mission, searching the skies for enemy aircraft. The crew is caught off guard when the real dangers.
And cut. Excellent work, crew. So let's give them a big round of applause. Alright, now you will be able to see how it all sounds and looks like after we add some computer images, a few lines of dialogue, and a rousing musical score. So please everybody, take another look at the overhead TV sets. This is Harbor Attack. I also would like to thank all of you for being part of the show here at the Special Effects Water Tank. If you would turn to your left.
In a moment, you'll see our award-winning earful tower, and no, I'm not talking about the topiary on the corner. I'm talking about the water tank at the end of the parking lot. If you can't see it now, you will in just a minute. That tank's based on a design for a water tank that Walt Disney built in his Burbank studios back in 1939. Ours stands a lucky 13 stories tall, and unlike Walt's, is capped off with a set of giant mouse ears. Its 28.5-foot diameter translates to a hat size of 342 3/8, and why do I know the hat size of a water tower? That's because in holidays past, they've gone up and put a red and white stocking Christmas cap. You'll see the first two movie props along the way. These two planes were from this summer's movie Pearl Harbor, starring Ben Affleck and Cuba Gooding Jr. The replicas of actual P-40 Tomahawk planes, but these are not intended to fly. They originally made 16 of them, and the two right here are the only ones that survived filming. If you saw the movie Pearl Harbor, you realize there were more than 16 planes. The rest of the planes in the film were all CGI, or computer-generated imagery. We duck inside for a moment. Now this is probably the most glamorous area of the studio. It's our award-winning creative costuming department. And the whole process begins with a designer's sketch. You can see the artwork on both walls. Then our very talented crew of seamstresses and tailors turn the drawings into costumes. In the cases on the left, we have costumes from the movies Gone in 60 Seconds, The Sixth Sense, The Shirley Temple Story, Disney's The Kid, and Unbreakable. We have 250 skilled professionals using 1.5 million yards of fabric a year. They can create in excess of 25,000 costumes. That makes us the largest working wardrobe facility in the world. Coming up on the left are prop storage houses. They're being used by a TV show called Sheena the Jungle Queen. It stars an actress formerly of Baywatch. Her name's Gina Lee Nolan, and you can see it in 84 different countries in syndication right now. They're on vacation. They've been on vacation for about 8 months, but they're coming back in February, and when they do, they'll be filming their 3rd season here at the studios. Over on the right, a few props from the Disney movie George of the Jungle. And on the opposite side, that's our main scenic shot. They're closed up for this evening. That's where the carpenters create and build the sets that are used all over property. They're responsible for everything from the parade floats you'll find at all 4 theme parks, and things like the backdrop for the Rosie O'Donnell show when she was here earlier this spring filming at the studios. One of the great things about movies is that they can take you to different places. Everywhere from the house next door to a dangerous canyon to an undersea adventure. And we're heading into the back lot where we can go to any one of the places I just mentioned. For an undersea adventure, we head to that large green tent right behind Mickey and Santa. That contains our underwater effects pool. It really looks like a large pool, but the bottom has a depth of 16 feet and is made to resemble the ocean floor. It provides a safer, more controllable environment than taking the actors and trying to film in nature. They used that just a month and a half ago for an episode of America's Most Wanted. We are heading into a very brightly lit residential street where you'll find some very unusual homes. But before you pack up and move in, look through the first house on the right. And I did say through the first house. All the homes on Residential Street are facades or empty shells. As you can see, they have no insides or backs. They're used for exterior shots only. When Jim Varney was here filming Ernest Saves Christmas, the second house on the right was used for the exterior shots of Vern's home. That movie's important to us because it was the first one done here at the studios, and they finished it a year before the park even opened up to guests back in 1988. Since then, all the houses have been used in different TV shows and commercials, the most recognizable of which will be on your left-hand side. The Hawaiian-style house for 7 of its Emmy Award-winning seasons was home to Rose, Dorothy, Blanche, and Sophia, better known as the Golden Girls. The exterior shots were done here in Florida and then matched up with the interior footage from California. If you wondered why the girls were never dancing around in their front yard, it's because from their door to our mailbox, that is a 3,000-mile trip. Also on the left, the blue Cape Cod-style house was home to Alice on Disney Channel's Adventures in Wonderland. And back over on the right, the 2-story brown house was TV neighbor to the Golden Girls. They had their own spin-off sitcom, and that's The Home from Empty Nest. And you've probably realized it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And this is our 6th annual Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights. Right now they're doing a test rehearsal. It begins this evening at 6 o'clock and runs an hour until after park close, which is 8. We invite you to come back and be at the Blue Barricades on New York Street, anywhere from 6 until 8 o'clock. And that'll be your one and only chance to walk down Residential Street. We'll have more than 5 million lights up and going this evening. So if you can, be sure to come back for the Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights. One of the most popular things about movies are, of course, action sequences. And perhaps you've wondered what happens to all the trains and automobiles once they've been chased and crashed into. They end up in the boneyard, and ours is coming up on the right. Boneyards are sort of like big outdoor attics. You never know what you're going to find. Since we never throw anything away, you might need it for something later on. The 3 totem heads on the right are from the movie The 13th Warrior, starring Antonio Banderas. Spaceship on the corner, flown by Christopher Lloyd, is my favorite Martian. A huge ape named Mighty Joe Young escaped from the miniature cattle car, and the jagged bit of rock behind it is a piece of the asteroid from the movie Armageddon. Director Steven Spielberg chose the planes and vehicles for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. If you take a look at the tread on the tank, you'll see it's made of rubber instead of metal. That saved on the wear and tear of actors like Harrison Ford, who were repeatedly tossed down the top of it. The futuristic forklift is from Bicentennial Man, starring Robin Williams. And the next 5 vehicles are all from the same movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, starting with Judge Doom's infamous Ditmobile. The orange trolley car isn't really a trolley car, it's a true bus. Look at the back wheel. You can see the fiberglass cover that fits over the tire. And that way, instead of laying trolley tracks, we just painted 2 lines on the ground and drove the bus over that. The yellow helicopter was flown by Bill Nye the Science Guy in Ellen's Energy Adventure, now starring at Epcot. The blue cockpit from the movie Blue Thunder, and from Disney's The Rocketeer, 2 prop airplanes complete with styrofoam engines. The custom-made long black speedboat is from Disney Presents The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage. The 2 smaller space vehicles are from the sci-fi movie Starship Troopers. And last but not least, the silver space pod on the end is Max from Disney's Flight of the Navigator. If you look across the canal, you get a real backstage view of Residential Street. As I mentioned, there are no back or insides to those homes, and the ones that they do have are very shabby. And that's because we don't build what the camera doesn't need to see. It's an old Hollywood production trick called saving money. Now up ahead is a large standing set. They've used this in a couple TV shows and commercials, but from the direction that Stephanie is taking us, we've gotten clearance to head inside. They had a team out here all morning long. This set's been closed off for us. They were working on special effects, but I guess they're done for the evening. We're going to be on a bridge. It will get just a bit bumpy. You want to hold on to your loose items, your cameras, your small children, and everyone stay seated. Now this set is modeled after an actual canyon in Southern California. It took our production crew about 6 months to build it. That's a lot of time for one set, but then again, considering how long it took Mother Nature to make the real thing, we thought they did a pretty good job. We are apparently stopping here for just a minute. Yes. Take pictures if you like. I'll tell you about the canyon. You can't see it from here, but just above us is a platform where they mount their cameras so they can film down into the canyon. The tanker across the way used to be in a boneyard. They liked it, so they thought they'd use it for this, but they had a problem. There is no way to drive that tanker across the canyon. So they had to get a crane to hoist it up over the outside wall and put it into place for their shot. Early today, we're working on quite a few effects. That's the rain effect. To create the rain, they use high-powered water nozzles located overhead. It shoots the water out only about 10 feet and in a crisscross pattern, so as you can see, it looks pretty much like natural rain. It's called Hollywood rain. See one? Hey guys? Guys? Hey production crew, cut the scene. Guys, cut the scene. It's not a stunt shuttle. Alright, just stay seated and hang on. No, we're going to get out of here. Yeah. Give yourself a big round of applause. You just survived the Backstage Canyon. 2, 3, 4, Mickey Mouse. That was Walt's personal airplane. Its earlier missions were to fly him and the Imagineers from California to